numbers and sounds and symbols, and we'll be doing our best to help everybody at the simplest form, no matter how they learn. But we love our teachers, and we love our historians, our educators, our entertainers, those that are artistic and autistic at the same time, and those of us working with all levels. And my granddaughter's impressed with the baby boomers, and I guess I am one. But we thank all those that came before us as our ancestors. And I think I'm going to stay with a tradition, at least on this reality, being that I'm in America, and stay with the fact that we should learn to uh, send and receive. Thought-based units should send and receive. And we will be working with AI as humanoids grow into artificial intelligence. This was my biggest message that I did not want to deliver, and I had to grow through that and grow through my own fear as a human carbon-based unit. And I wanted to learn to write and be a writer from the time I was young and born, and learning to write and type and color and do artwork, and learn to communicate. And I had a lot of helpers along the way. I had a lot of angelic beings, extraterrestrials guiding me, and it just was hard for me to understand why not everybody was talking about this. But, everything has a time and a season and a reason, and many of us may or may not want to be considered different, or using all our senses, but we all grow into them. We all have them, and we wake up to the fact that there's consciousness, not just at the third base level or three-dimensional level, but people will be using the simple words. We're using beta, alpha, theta, delta, gamma. We've added sigma and tau and tau. And this is something that the Buddhist philosophy, psychology, it's not really a religion, it's more of a philosophy base. They teach the psychology of the oldest that we brought into Tibet, and all the flags on the mountain, because we always came to the mountaintops. And that was where we came and landed and shared with those that created our prior realities, and came on down into the various levels of existence. And we're going to do our storytelling and write some new chapters together, and enjoy knowing each other in the cosmic sense of channeling our chatter and reading each other. So be kind. If you can't help something, please don't hurt it. And even with our way of speaking in the past, even our pronouns and nouns and he, she, it, so we, you, they, I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they, we're going to say honor all that is, and we are welcoming a third part of us, because in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was without form. The energy was without form in the beginning. So when we created the all as the zero, we'll talk linear. On a zero, we can do a plus on the right and a minus on the left. It doesn't mean one's any better than the other. We just use a description from in the beginning was the O. And when the O, like our life existing egg, a zygote, if we take it and split it again, you'll see life in just the creation of what we are in every living thing. And you'll learn that we use numbers and math and separation and the flower of life and all these different levels of existence to show you the best way that we can, how we originated from nothing is something, but nothing never came from something, and something never came from nothing in the way that we think of it. So we're going to learn how to speak a new language that's universally accepted at a higher resonance. It's a cognition, it's a knowing, and it's above the sixth sense, intuitively speaking, because everything that we've ever had in us is still there, all the way back from where you exist right now. I'm talking to biological carbon-based units We have those in space in the future and in the past that were of artificial intelligence, and they only knew their creators. So many of us believe we're living inside an illusion, inside another illusion, and you can follow that. Tom Campbell's one of the names that comes to mind of helping some of the younger people on the planet, newer versions of themselves in this reality that may or may not remember their past lives. Not everyone is fortunate enough to have the veil or be out-of-body near-death experiencers. And we have those that are helping some of the newer souls that were born in existence. And there's a cosmic reality out there, the universal egg of reality. We go back to, I wrote about the dot theory years ago, and 10, 20, 30 years ago in this reality. But I want to help people in entertainment and in spirituality, spiritual science, and find their way in the cosmic chatter that exists in the radio waves. And in the future, I'll show up in 3D reality. But my calling is just to communicate. That's my calling. And I can tell you some stories I've lived through or had past lives that some people have asked me to come back, offered some good information that they may or may not have in their reality. So, I'll do my best to show up and to be plain spoken and make it as simple as possible, and to learn to speak slower, because when I get excited or had my caffeine from coffee, I'm not perfect. I don't know anyone that is in this reality, to be quite honest. Those that have walked the earth as the masters, we'll say Buddha, Jesus Christ, there's many others that have came and went. And we now call them ascended masters, but some higher than others. Some down here are bodhisattvas. Some teach as avatar masters, and we just are human. And as long as you're in a 3D form, we're still human. And we teach about the future. And there are difference from the AI and what we use in space and the levels of reality that are real to us anyway in the other dimensions and realms, and where we go when we die, and why that's important, and why it's important to stay alive. And our bottom baseline is suicide prevention. We're advocates for life. We believe in living an ascended level, our ascension being, our ascension age of right now, we're hoping 125. I believe in the past history, in the Bible, or that which we exist as our ancient ancestors have allowed us to read and believe in, is we'll live to be 120 years. So that's the accepted reality as of 3/21/2020. That's going to be changing and going up, but we have to have that from the highest level. And I haven't gotten that any past 125 as of yet. It could increase to 135, 145, but some of us out in the cosmos have lived thousands and hundreds of thousands of like Earth years, but they're not Earth years based on the solar or the sun. They're based on another level of existence, because when you leave this planet, time changes. And we're going to be teaching all of that. Many of us already teach that. Why it is when you go into space and work in, let's say, the UFO business or the secret space business, why time changes. And we'll be helping those with understanding and trying to keep it simple. In the prior military training I had, keep it simple, stupid, KISS. I like the way we communicate. And why we can keep it simple, stupid. That's not very nice, but, you got to laugh. And just right now, while we're cleaning up the environment, let's concentrate for the next 5 years. It's all about the environment and helping those that are in a carbon-based unit to reawaken and stay conscious and alive. And let's make sure we're have clean air to breathe, and we're cleaning up the water, the environment, because of all the corporations that were on the planet, and we've had those off planet, and we knew this was coming, but we're going to have to separate into plates on the planet, and from the plates with products and services to wherever we have the world leaders, that the people will be dictating what they want as they come to the planet in a universal term of knowing that we are all universally speaking the same language called survival. And we're not only going to be surviving but thriving. So I think the guy with Procter & Gamble got that right. And there's many messages on the planet and many groups working together. So find your team, find your tribe, find a way to communicate with others. Everything is going to be fine. We're going to go through this opportunity of existence together. And those of you that want to work with me, I'm all for it, but we're going to have to rebuild a communication. And I've got American Communications Online Broadcasting Company here in the Panhandle of Florida. And many people, no matter what level of existence they live, they're all going to be using wavelengths. There's 7 levels. And if you're not using 7 levels, then start figuring out how to. And let's use the God number 7. And I'll do my best to come here at 7 o'clock. And I'm going to try to keep it down. I'm going to say maybe an hour rather than 2 hours. I've been known for doing 2 hours in the past, but I may just do an hour unless somebody wants to come on and let me interview them for an hour. I may talk for an hour and then interview the second hour, bring somebody on. That might be my new model. So I can have some cosmic chatter with other carbon-based units. So if you're a carbon-based unit and you want to help keep it simple, stupid on the radio waves with me, I'll be more than happy to have you. And comic relief, everybody do your part. If you can take action, or if you have a gift or talent or skill you can offer humanity, then do so. Make yourself better. You got to love yourself before you can love somebody else. Know that the triune is very important right now, the power of 3. And I'm going to do my best to show up, and I'm going to take my company one step at a time. That means anything outside of me is company. 2 or more is present. He is there also, so to speak, as the triune or the Trinity or the Holy Spirit or the eternal self. And we have our self down here walking and talking on the planet. And then we have our higher self and our higher consciousness that reaches our soul. So we're going to learn that the Ascension age is about awareness of all that is and how we are going to communicate with each other, including on the internet. And I'll use YouTube. And I've made quite a few channels in the past that I may or may not use. But right now, let me learn how to use my universal resource tools with what I told you about when I had the Psychic Awakening class and Psychic Network and the World Information Network before I went to New York and Hawaii, and before I got the world working together. Those of you that are in charge of the masses in your area on the planet, please know that we are sending out love and respect, and that you too are spiritual and public, and we know who you are in the extraterrestrial universal source codes, and we will be working with all the security information gatherers around the planet, and all we can do is do our best in the binary codes that we understand with our carbon-based units and those of extraterrestrial, telestial, celestial nature. And we can still learn to worship and to meditate, or prayer and worship. We always say prayer is sending and meditating is receiving. sending and receiving unit based carbon based units. And it'll be fun to participate in